Welcome, everyone. We are live. It is Wednesday. Thank you all for being here on such a beautiful day. Thank you for being here. We are live on Fanbase, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Today, don't let the size of your manifestation scare you. Eh? Let's talk about size. Remember, I told you size doesn't matter. What does matter is, do you know what you want? That is what matters. Okay? That's what matters. Not the size of it. You see, the size is only your perception because you've given it more weight than something else. You've said to yourself, this is really important and I must accomplish this or else. That's what we've said to ourselves. But remember, you and I are always growing, and deliberately we are practicing. But what are we doing deliberately? Over time, the more we practice, the stronger our quote unquote faith becomes. So when you are deliberately manifesting something you think is bigger or larger than life, you may begin to question yourself and say, well, I don't know if I can do this. When all you're doing is looking back at all of the things you have deliberately done, and then you look ahead and you say, okay, well, you know what? I want to see how much I have grown. Because sometimes they say, well, start small. Start with a cup of coffee. Start with a free pizza. Start with a parking spot. It's not that you start small as in insignificant. That's not what it means. You're not doing something insignificant. It is always significant because you are being deliberate. Something you've never done before. At least not knowingly. We'll talk about that one. I think that one's tomorrow. Right? Where's that faith? That faith is, wait a minute, I've done this before. Let me do it again. And so you become more bold, more confident in where and in who? Yourself and what you've done previously. We do it both ways. When there's something we haven't done before, we say what? Well, I've never done this. I don't know that I can. But if you've done it before, what do you say? I've done this before and I know that I can do it again. So the difference between the two, what did you learn and did you apply it? So don't let what you require, don't label it as, oh my God, this is too big, this is too important, no. What makes a thing important is you. That's your desire. So it is important. It is your desire, so it is important. If you can remember that it is your desire and that is what gives it its importance, because you are important, then you will remove the stigma. Well, that's too big. I've never done anything like this before. Which one of us has deliberately? We are all learning to be deliberate about life. So, where are you now? What are you doing? That's how you determine. Well, that's what really brings about the desires too. Wherever you're at. Because if you're hungry, what would be the desire would be food. You're all the blast. The desire always shows itself right here and right now. Even if you were on the train or on the bus or traveling and you got hungry, you knew it was inevitable that you would eat. See? But what if you were in an insecure position, and you didn't know where your next meal was going to come from. Now, this would appear to be, if I don't have food, we're going to be in trouble. This is really important for me to get. You see what we do right there? You see how we put the weight on things depending on the state of mind that we're in? If you are in a desperate state of mind, well, then you're going to make the thing larger than it actually is. And if it appears to be larger than it is, then we say to ourselves, I can't. I don't know how to do it. But if we select a calmer state where we can see clearly and feel better, then we will say to ourselves, wait a minute, I can do this. I can do this. So then it makes you ask yourself the question, why would the size of your manifestation scare you? That depends on what state you're looking at that desire from. It depends on the state you're looking at that desire from. If you're looking at your desire from a state of worry and fear, it will overwhelm you because you won't think it is possible. But if you change your state, your mood, your mental attitude, one of the ways to do that is to remember, wait a minute, I'm learning something new. So if I'm learning something new, I got to be more patient here. What's the process? I know what I want. I know something that would show me this is exactly it to confirm that it is done. And I would fall asleep in that state every night. Or if I'm out, I do a quick meditation where I can get a little bit drowsy. But I would experience in imagination what I would experience in reality, or what I would do in reality if I had it. That is how you move from the state of worry, so that now when you look at your desire, it is no longer overwhelming you, because you know that it is not by will that we bring about anything, but it is by imagination that we do it. So, what state of mind, what mental mood are you in when this desire comes upon you? Even if you start out in a state of desperation saying, oh my God, I must have this. If you catch yourself in that undesirable state, you know how to change it to become calmer. Listen, if I had it, what would I do? And the moment you begin to entertain what it would be like, you've moved states. Now the thing that was once overwhelming has seemed to diminish in its size. You put it into perspective. You relieve yourself of the unwanted worry. But again, your faith is not being tested because somebody's saying, well, let's look at this grade. Let's see how good this person is. No, your faith is not being tested by an external force. You are exercising your faith. Just like you exercise your muscles, you will notice that if you lift the same weight the same way every time, it becomes lighter somehow, does it? Or did you get stronger? So remember, what are you doing when you practice exercising your faith? The natural thing to do when we go and we work out is we increase our weight that we can bear. Of course, without injury. This is why, if you've never gone to the gym before, you don't start with 300 pounds. You'll look at that and go, holy cow, I've never done that before. I'm going to hurt myself. Well, what do? Hurt yourself. So it's again, not that you're starting small. Remove size from the equation. It is that you are learning how to do something and you are building up your resilience, just like you do when you go to the gym. Why else would we say exercise faith? So when you exercise your faith, you start out, of course, you're excited because you've never done anything like this before. Not on purpose. Listen, who goes to the gym and not go on purpose? No, we don't voluntarily do that foolishness. We go on purpose. We go deliberately. And we know that when we go, we know we've never done it. So I have to see what I am capable of lifting. I know I'm capable of lifting 5 pounds. Shoot, 2. But after the week is over, that 2 pounds feels like a feather to me. So I say, well, I lifted those 2 pounds. I feel stronger. Let me see if I can lift 5. And what do? First of all, you'll notice that you're excited about it. Oh, I can lift 5 pounds. Let me see. And you go and you lift 5 pounds and you spend the week lifting it and being familiar with it. And then you begin to notice, whoa, wait a minute. I had triceps this whole time? Look at those in the mirror, girl. What? Look at these biceps, these pipe cleaners. And you feel excited. It is the same thing when you're exercising your faith. What am I capable of deliberately keeping my focused attention on? What am I capable of keeping my focused attention on? And you start practicing. You start out with 30 seconds and you hold your attention there without allowing it to wander off. And if it does, you bring it back because, hey, you're learning. And remember, that focused attention is what brings about the manifestation because it's in your imagination. And that's what you have kept your attention upon instead of letting it wander away and not allowing it to become disciplined. Right? So you see how you're doing the exact same thing? One is in the physical gym and the other is in the mental gym. So what are you learning over time? You're not learning that the weight is bigger than you are or heavier than you are. You are learning your own strength. You now have faith in yourself that you can look in that mirror at the gym and say, I did 2, I did 5. You know what? I know I can do 10 at least 2 times. I know I can. And what do? You go and you get the 10 pounds and you lift it and you surprise yourself when you get to 4. You didn't know you had it in you. It is the same thing when you say, you know what? I'm here right now and this thing is required. Let me see how long I can endure holding my focused attention. I did it for 30 seconds there. I did it for a minute here. I did it for 2 minutes here. I did it for 3 minutes. Let me see. You know what? I know I can hold it for 3.5 minutes. And you do it. You surprise yourself when you get to 5 and you say, whoa, that didn't even feel like 5 minutes. But I kept myself focused this whole time. I trust this morning that you begin to get a better comprehension of what the exercising of faith looks like and what happens. I know scripture tells us faith comes by hearing. Of course. How many times do you hear something before you are inspired to test it for yourself to see how you can apply it? Don't get it twisted. It's the same thing as when you go to the gym. It's the same thing. So don't let the size fool you, because what you're actually learning what to do is assess a situation and trust yourself in the situation. That is what you are learning how to do. Right? That's exactly what you're learning how to do. Assess the situation by saying, okay, I have a desire. I have this desire. And you're assessing the situation. You say, you know what? I've never had to apply my focus and attention not like this before. Let me roll up my sleeves. This is sure to be a fun time. And you roll up your sleeves with enthusiasm because you want to see what you are capable of doing. You see, so it has nothing to do with how big or how small you think the thing is. Truthfully, we trust in our Spanx more than we trust ourselves. Listen, I saw a commercial yesterday for Spanx. And then she put this thing on. I said, wow, what kind of sorcery is this? How does it just suck everything in? And we have the audacity to put our jeans on and our dress on. And we're like, it'll hold. It'll hold. And when I saw it, I said, Lord have mercy. We have more faith in Spanx than we do ourselves. We don't question that foolishness. We just put it on and, well, it'll hold. So then, why is it that when you want to test your faith and say, well, you're not testing your faith, you're testing you. You're testing yourself to see, how long can I stay focused? How long can I keep my focused attention on what? The thing that you would experience in reality. You're experiencing it in your imagination. How long can you hold your attention there and feel it? You are exercising your faith when you do that, because you're checking yourself to see what you are capable of accomplishing. So it's not that the thing you want to accomplish is too big or far-fetched or beyond your reach. It's, how long have you been practicing? Do you know what you're capable of? If you don't know, now you got to figure it out. And the only way to figure it out is to test yourself to see what you are capable of doing. How long can you hold your attention upon the imaginal act and feel it before you let it go? That is what we're doing on a daily basis. So that when you hear the words persist, you're not persisting in something that is willy-nilly or foolish. You are persisting in holding your focus and your attention and your feeling in the state of the wish fulfilled, in the mood that you want to be in. You persist there because, let me tell you something, sometimes you feel the burn of that lactic acid when you're in the gym. But you got to pull a David Goggins. Not broken bones, David Goggins, okay? But the resilience to say, okay, one more step. I can. Come on. And you hold the focus and attention with feeling. And then you say, oh my God, I did it. And then the excitement builds because you want to do it again. That's why you persist. You don't persist grudgingly. Oh my God, I got to persist in this again today. No. You think you're doing me a favor? You think you're doing somebody else a favor? You are doing the favor for yourself. If you don't do yourself this solid favor, you are denying yourself the experience that you oh so enthusiastically want to have. That's why you persist, so that you can have the experience that you want. Because if you don't persist, what's the first thing we say is, oh my God, I didn't get it. I must not be deserving. I knew it was out of reach. And we give up. But instead of giving up, change your perspective. Look at why you persist. Why, Mr. Anderson? Why? Why do you persist? Because I choose to. You choose to. Why? Because you matter to you. Your success matters to you. It is the driving force. It matters to you. If it did not matter to you, you wouldn't do it. Desire is the spring of action, as Neville says. So today, whatever that thing is that you say you want to accomplish or manifest, whatever that is, do you know what it is that you want? Then you know what you want. What is something that you would do naturally to celebrate it if it were true? Can you see that in your mind's eye? Can you feel it in your bosom? If you can see it in your mind's eye, continue seeing it. Allow your mind to focus there. If you can't see it, but you can feel it, then feel it and give thanks for what you felt. Because it is the feeling that tells you, we got it in the bag, baby. And then you sit or lay as still as possible. You're stilling the internal so that you can focus on that thing, that scene, or focus on the feeling. And Neville says, once you've focused on that feeling and then you build yourself up to a climax and then you open your eyes, go about your day. You see, what will help us to banish doubt is to remember I am simply practicing my capacity to focus my attention and to feel it. Let me tell you something. When you're exercising in the gym, you can always tell someone who's broken their concentration, broken their attention or their focus. They falter. David Goggins is the prime example of this. He taped up his feet. He had broken bones. Whew, that is either madness or bravery. But that line between the two is very thin in this case. He put duct tape on his feet. And let me tell you something. If you listen to him when he speaks, had he have focused on the pain, well, he would have stopped, don't you think? Because with every step, it becomes more and more excruciating. So he had to move his level of consciousness to something else. Hmm? He had to put himself in what we would call a trance state, a state of altered consciousness, meaning he had to put his attention and his focus and his feeling somewhere else. So he brought something from some way over there and he brought it to himself right there and now, because his true now was excruciating pain. So he had to move that pain. And how did he move it? By bringing another state of mind. He stepped into another state of mind. so that he could no longer feel the pain. The pain did not go anywhere. He went somewhere. He went somewhere mentally. And because he practiced incessantly how to hold his focus and his attention, it was easy for him. Well, he made it look easy. But it became easier because he practiced every day to hold his focus, his attention, and his feeling where he put it. So then you could say he's a man of great faith. In who? Himself and his capacity to put his mind elsewhere to overcome the pain that he was presently in, to cross the finish line. This is why everybody considers him to be a Superman. It is only because he has practiced, focused attention. Listen to him and you will hear it. But you see, persistence. He gets up every morning and he says it takes him about a half an hour to talk himself into putting on his running shoes. I forget how many miles he runs every day. Don't look at the miles that he runs. Look at his ability to hold his attention where he put it. That did not happen overnight. It happened because he remained persistent, because what he was doing was important to him. So it's not about the size of your manifestation. It is about, let me see what I am capable of keeping my attention and feeling upon. And when you lose your attention, you don't get mad. You pick it up again and go, okay. Breathe. Let's focus here. That feeling is there. Go. And you hold your attention. And day after day, you persist in the practice of holding your attention. That is how you, quote unquote, exercise your faith in yourself, because now you see what you are capable of doing. This is what you do. Usain Bolt didn't get confident because he ran sometimes. If you listen to his mother, she said this child ran everywhere he wanted to go. He ran. So he learned what he was capable of, and his body responded in kind. So you see, every time you practice holding your attention, where are you holding your attention? You are holding your attention upon the thing you would experience in reality. Would you celebrate? Would you hug somebody? Would you shake somebody's hand? Would you throw confetti? Would you swallow confetti because it was being thrown in your face and that was your only option because your mouth was open? Whatever that thing is, allow it to fully captivate you. Well, it would have to. That's part of holding your attention. Didn't Einstein say it? A man would sit on a hot stove just because that beautiful woman is there. He loses all sense of time and anything else around him because he's captivated by the presence of the thing of his desire. So your desire has to hold you. It has to be beautiful. Trust me, if it was ugly, well, we have a hard time with that, don't we? That's why we like the beautiful things. Your desire is beautiful. So allow it, when you get into its presence, allow it to just completely captivate you. Neville says, allow it to crowd everything else out of your mind. He also equates it to being in the presence of a lover. I saw this movie the other day. What was it? The World Between Us, Draxton Hall. Oh, whew. absolutely brilliant miniseries. They fell in love. You saw it progress. And he says, I don't ever want this to end. She said, but tomorrow will come. He goes, I know, but this moment, I want it to last forever. Mentally, if you practice holding your attention upon that moment and the way the moment makes you feel, you will silence everything else around you. Because the only thing that has your attention is that moment that you are experiencing in imagination. If that's the thing you would naturally do in reality, if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. So do you see now why you persist? Why you keep going back in its presence? You keep going back in its presence because you are in love with your desire. And when you are in love with something, what do you want to do? Spend time with it. So don't look at your desire as a chore. So that when you hear the word persist in your imaginal act, it's not a chore. It's not washing floors. Let me tell you a little secret to make it easier. Ladies, get on all fours and wash your floors by hand. I'll just let that image linger there for you. But I digress. It takes away the sting of having to wash floors. Some say get a Swiffer, but if you understand what I'm saying, read between the lines. When you have a desire, fall so in love with it that it is no burden, no time, no effort to enter into its presence. What does scripture say? Come into his presence with thanksgiving in your heart and give him praise. I wonder what you think they're talking about there. Some strange being on the outside? No. Come into the presence of your desire with thanksgiving and give it praise. You say, I do love you, and I'm so excited. And you'll erase doubt. Why? Because you know that the thing felt on the inside is the thing that is inevitably experienced on the outside. So you're not just grudgingly waiting and checking your watch and tapping your foot to see how long this thing takes. That's not what you're doing. You're saying to yourself, this is exactly how I would behave if I were the man or the woman I want to be. So you know what? It's inevitable that I behave this way, so I shall just continue behaving this way now. Because then what have you done? Like David Goggins, you brought a completely different state of mind to yourself that enveloped you so that you could do what? Make it through the day. That's what you've done. And you practiced it. Here's a question. How do you counter attack negative thoughts when concentrating on the desired outcome? When you fall in love with your desire, you will not become overwhelmed by a negative thought. There won't be any space for the negative thought because your entire being is full of who you say you now are. That is how you don't counter by fighting. You counter by falling in love with the thing. Do you ever realize in the presence of your lover you can squeeze 5 more minutes out? it doesn't seem like time is passing you by at all. Because time ceases to exist at that moment. This is why we say time flies when you're having fun. The perception of time flies when you're having fun, but do something that you don't like, and time appears to drag on forever. Thereby what? When is this going to be done? But see your desire in a different light, son. See your desire as just what it is, something beautiful, instead of seeing it as a chore. The only reason why we would see our desire as a chore and have to deal with the negative thoughts when you're concentrating on your desired outcome. Two reasons, actually. The moment you say you're concentrating on your desired outcome, concentration becomes natural when you are in the presence of a lover. All you can see is them. You don't have to, quote unquote, concentrate. You don't have to force yourself to concentrate. Effort is the enemy. This is why the best way to put it is to fall in love. Be enamored with your desire. That is what you do. Just as if you were gazing into the eyes of a lover. You can see the color, the size of their pupils, the color of their hair, the texture of their hair. You feel them as they inhale and exhale. It's as if you've become one with them. Then you must do the same with your desire. You have to become one with your desire, not through force or effort, by love. Love. Love will keep us together, right? Think about this for a moment. If you're not driving, right? Imagine, if you will. What is that thing, that new job, that home, that car, that relationship? More money in the bank. How do you fall in love with that? You fall in love with it. First of all, when the thought comes to your mind, oh, you mean I'm going to have the freedom to purchase what I want when I want? And I make wise investments? Oh, tell me more. Oh, I can't wait to see his face or see her face when they hear about my newfound wealth. I can't wait. You don't have to wait. You see it right there and then you say, yeah, that's what they'd say to me. And you get so caught up in what you would hear or see. Same thing about the job. You want that promotion. Hear your boss tell you, I don't know what we were thinking. You are the perfect person for this job. How did we not see that before? You know what? I am so glad that you're here. That's what you hear. You hear your coworkers celebrate you. Yeah, even Joanne in the corner who says, please. I've been here longer than you. Even her, she will be silenced by your good fortune. Put the words in her mouth that you want her to say. Grudgingly, she will offer you her congratulations and say, you know what? You are the better person for the job. I'm glad you got it. Oh, yes. How incredible would that feel to hear those words come from her lips? Your car, your brand new car. Listen, you will find every opportunity to drive by a glassed building so that you can slow down. Everybody's honking around you, but you can slow down and watch yourself as you drive by in your car. And you hear these, move, fool, speed up, I'm late. Or you can hear the pedestrian, I'm walking here, right? You can hear that, but none of that phases you. Why? Because you're watching yourself drive by in your dream car. You fall in love with what it is you want to become. And the deeper you fall in love with it, nothing will distract you from that. And then you have the knowledge now that the thing that you imagine, when you feel it, it is only a matter of time until it shows up in your world. And every moment of every day, you find yourself lingering in the presence of the thing that can hold your attention without effort. That is how you do it. Not by might, not by power, but by my spirit. What is spirit? Imagination. That is how we do it. So today, my beautiful friends, practice the art of falling in love with your desire. This is why everything we give a personality to. This is why we give a personality to things. You know, you buy a boat and you call it she. I'm gonna ride my girl today. Can't wait to feel the waves rocking her body. Like, come on. Why? Why do you give it a personality? Because it makes it easier. This is why wisdom is described as more valuable than rubies, more beautiful than rubies and diamonds. Yes. Put a face to it, a personality. And that is how we fall in love with our desire, so that we stay in that imaginal act without effort, without force.
And positively, Angela.
Yes, Delight, sweet girl,
Hey,
say it.
I love how you mentioned that it's important to fall in love with that job or that thing that you can see and envision, because it truly is you falling in love with it, and it doesn't even feel like a task to work towards it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the same way that we identify the state that we want to be in, I think we need to pay attention to those moments where love hits us. Yes. Because sometimes love can hit you and it's not what you wrote down. Mm-hmm. But exactly what you wrote down, it's something else where you're operating in your strengths. Yep. So for anyone looking for a job, be open to that job showing up where it's really focusing on your skill set. Mm-hmm. And you can begin to see yourself smiling. You can begin to see yourself dressing up. You're in love with that thing. And then everything tied to that, yes, whether it's an interview or even a hiring exercise, you have joy. So I just want to make sure people remember, like I'm remembering too, that it is that feeling of love. It's not something that's hard work. And when you recognize it, don't judge it.
There you go.
It's okay, because that's going to get you to that greater state that you dreamt of. I'll land.
Delight, you hit it right on the head. Facts. See? That's what we do. Just like she said. Just like she said. Fall in love with it. And then it's not a burden, it's not a chore. You're not waiting around for it, because you've already given it to yourself by way of how you feel about it. Right? It's like health. Fall in love with health. The very idea of being able to climb the stairs. The very idea of bending over to tie your shoes and not feeling like, oh my God, my head's going to pop off. Just see what I'm saying? The ease of movement. Fall in love with that state, that mood, that mental attitude. You think dis-ease and health can abide in the same space? No. So, I trust this makes sense to you today, but more so that you will test it. Test it. Who's here today? Let's welcome everybody because whew, your girl gets a little chatty. And King Beauty, it's symmetric, is in the house. Beloved Love True. I see y'all's here on Twitter this morning. You know I love seeing you and spending time with you all. YouTube and Facebook, who's here? Son, I trust that answered your question. A not. Hey, Jeff. Ah, Cyber, welcome. Wisdom Almighty 69. Yes, I see you here, YouTube and Facebook. Thank you for being here. Fan base, who's kicking it with us today? Happy is in the house. Moon. Banathe. I'm trusting I'm saying it correct. You are new, because believe me, I have not said your name before. Miss Cherry, Afternoon Delight, Joaquim KZ, Miss McQueen, Tannen, Ali, Fawn. My Melanin, Flo Smiles, Oracle Treehouse, Shea Butter, baby. I see you all here. I see you all here. Thank you for spending time this morning. So don't let the size of your manifestation scare you. Size is irrelevant. Fall in love with the thing and size disappears. Because all you're doing day in and day out is exercising your what? Focus and attention feeling. And the easiest way to do it is to fall in love with your desire. It is yours. It is yours. You're supposed to love it, right? Now let's get the bowl. You might get bird song. I don't know. But as you hear the bowl and possible bird song this morning, reimagine your desire in a whole new light. Fall in love with it. Oh, Angela, that's weird. I don't know how to do that. Listen, do you want to experience that thing in your life? How would it make you feel if you experienced it? Wouldn't you be over the moon? Wouldn't you be excited? Wouldn't you be satisfied? That is your birthright, to walk in a state of satisfaction, to walk in the state of the wish fulfilled. That is your right, darling. It is. It is your right to walk and live a most beautiful life. I cannot force you to believe it. Think about the alternative. Not too long. You want to suffer and drag through life? No, thank you. Hard pass. Isn't that what we're talking about in this day and age? I want my soft girl life. And now we got drizzle drizzle. Come on. If you notice, you can live a soft and beautiful life. How? By experiencing in imagination what you would experience in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. Since when do you have to take from another to pad your bottom line? You do not. Each human being has the exact same capacity to create their ideal, move from an undesirable state to the desirable state so that they become their best selves. If you wait around for somebody to fund your soft girl or your drizzle drizzle, well, you're going to be waiting for a long time. Long time. And ain't nobody got time for that. Because I got gray hair. Let me tell you something. Don't worry, I got a handy pair of tweezers. An unwilling son. Get to the back of my head there, child. Come on. But I digress. You want that soft girl life? You want that drizzle drizzle? Imagine it. Because the only one who can give it to you is you. Anyway, let me get the bowl. Hello, viewing pleasure. I see you here. I see you here, my darling. Let me get the bowl. I trust it makes sense. Listen, if you have more questions, you can DM me on any platform that you're on right now, that you're following me on. Facebook, Fanbase, Twitter, YouTube. Shoot, even TikTok. Lot of mercy. You can listen. I'm here. Not because I know everything. That's not it. It's just that this is my path. Right? Wait, let's see. Hold on, let's play the ball. There it is. Ah, ah, incoming. Countdown initiated. Yes, viewing pleasure. I'm here for the bird song too. 5, 4, 3, 2. Ah, Twitter. Ah, my beautiful Twitter Shay, I see you. King Beauty, it's symmetric and beloved love troll. Enjoy the beautiful day. Indeed. YouTube, Facebook, viewing pleasure, checkmate, sun, a not, Jeff, cyber, wisdom almighty, and the infamous Lil Bit. Thank you all for being here this lovely morning. And you know, lesson 3 is tonight, thinking fourth dimensionally. Now, we've read this one before, but it is part of a series. So come on out tonight, 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you're still awake, or catch the replay, you know. And don't let the size of your manifestation scare you. Hello, MD, darling. Welcome to the space. But we have just concluded, my dearest. You might want to catch that replay. Yes, yes, little bit, yes. All right, much love to you, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Much love to you all.